that's right.
So, what stops you from currently swinging your sword?
Um, well, my understanding is that uh there's well, the hitboxes aren't out for very long for any of Marth's aerials, really.
True.
And the end lag is pretty large. So it's not like, I don't know, when I feel like I play Fox, like I have just like a million like offensive options or stuff I would call offensive options that like Marth can't have. And I also feel like what's the point of hitting people with the sword sometimes, especially now that like CC is so prevalent. Like it sometimes doesn't feel like it's worth it to
Okay.
me.
So what would be
Um,
what would be some examples of times when it's just not worth it to like hit them with your sword?
um,
Like what sword moves are really like definitely not worth it, or
well,
generally not worth it rather.
I would like rule out. Uh, I mean, it also depends on the situation, obviously, but like back air feels like very situational.
Agreed.
Um, uh, you know, I so I always felt like Nair was never really that good. Um, especially like approaching Nair, I felt was like horrible. But and this is kind of a bit of a tangent, but Logan is in my region. I was talking to them for a little bit, and they were like, they told me that like getting good at shield stop Nair is like the secret to Marth. So I've been trying to do that more often, and I feel like there's some situations where I see like that specific like sequence is good, but Nair also just never really felt that good, and it always felt like pretty CCable. So I never really liked it a ton.
Okay.
Um,
So is Sheik's Fair CCable?
um, I would say so. Yeah, I feel like it feels pretty.
Okay. So
Um,
what does CCable mean? Does it mean like you just don't get reward, or they get hit for it, or like what do you mean by that?
it feels like there's a high risk of just getting reversaled off crouch cancel if I try to use that move
Okay, got it.
in neutral.
Interesting. Because I don't really consider either of them, like either Sheik's Fair or Marth's Nair, as being like especially vulnerable to CC. It's more that they just don't get anything off it, except for a
Mhm.
mix up, right?
Yeah, I could also just be wrong.
Well, no, I'm trying to understand how you think right now. I'm not
Mhm.
worried about right or wrong yet.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so let's talk about one of your answers to the questionnaire, because I think that this is kind of like where I think we're gonna where my disconnect is in like sword swinging.
Mhm.
It's clear from your second answer that you understand that those three things, undershooting, with punishing, overshooting, that they exist in a rock paper scissors triangle.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So if we remove our sword from the equation, how do we undershoot?
Hmm.
Do you see the problem? Like we can't really like defend our space anymore.
Yeah.
We can't really take additional territory with any amount of safety. Like we lose all of our presence with that comes from hitboxes. So I do you think it's possible that maybe we're just not using our hitboxes as effectively as we could be? Or is it? Do you think that these are just like move property issues?
Um, a little bit of both,
Okay.
but um, I'm realize I've like have been realizing lately that I feel like throwing moves out like defensively has kind of been like a like I don't use the word philosophical because it feels super deep, but like it's just not been like something I've been like really thinking about or like really like considered like a part of like my game plan in a lot of matchups. Um, at least like super strongly. Like I always feel like if I'm throwing a move out, like I kind of want it to hit. So like um putting a move out like defensively, hoping they kind of like run into it is not something I really have thought a lot about.
So,
Um,
oh, that's because so you just said something very interesting. So, do you
mm,
think that undershooting is always defensive?
um, no, and there's sometimes where like uh just to like a specific example that like I do now that I think is like intentionally kind of like undershooting is like if I see if like I recognize like a fox like running in, I will just like kind of like do a quick dash up and then grab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like where they go. So that's like something that like makes sense to me. But yeah, I'm sorry that kind of derailed my train of thought. What was the question?
No, you answered it. So, I asked you if undershooting is necessarily defensive because we're attacking. We're like what we're doing is it's self-defense. Like we are putting up something that attacks somebody for moving into our territory or moving in or trying to hit us. But I think that what we forget sometimes is that also includes the expansion of territory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, like, if we have somebody who is playing, like, if we have a Peach who's constantly running into the corner to pull turnips, and we decide that we don't really want to gamble on, like, the, like, let's say that they've been doing, like, the fake turnip pull a lot, so we don't want to run over, like, with F smash or whatever. So we running down tilt. It's faster, safer. It allows us to, like, expand our territory. It pokes or crouch safely. Like I would consider that an overshoot, that an undershoot, because what we're really doing is we're just like we're like increasing the amount of effective area that we control if we're successful, but we're not also like going into where she's going to. We're not attacking the back of where she can theoretically go. We're just attacking like a part of it. So, yeah, I would say that like a lot of moves that are meant to scout for reactions, like Marth's down tilt would be a big one. I might also say Falco's laser. Like a lot of those I'd consider undershoots. Because they're just like, they are meant to, they're very good ones. And Falco's laser, you could argue, is also an overshoot fine. I think that he has to be moving forward in order for it to count for that, but like it is still like fair enough. But the idea is that like pokes can be a way for us to provoke response from our opponent. And they don't necessarily, one of the perks of them is that they tend to be low commit. So not in every matchup, not in every situation, not at every percent, because this is a very dynamic game. But yeah, like upon hearing that, does any of that jive with you, or does it sound like I'm speaking in tongues and like this is absolutely not true? Like definitely not. Like what's your reaction to hearing that?
No, I mean like that makes sense to me. I mean like using down tilt to like scout for reaction, like that phrase in particular has been like something I feel like once I started to like try to understand like the neutral game, that's kind of like where it started, hence like being a PPMD stand. So like that makes sense to me. Yeah,
perfect. So I think so as a starting point, what game modes do you play? And do you have any sets that you've picked out that we can look at together, or like so like how do you foresee this time being productive?
I'm not quite. I mean, I feel like if I have VODs that are good to review, then I can bring them next time. But I find that like a lot of my VODs, like I kind of have like reviewed them and kind of understood like the mistakes I've made.
Do you play ranked?
No, not really. I'm not a huge ranked fan. But I do play unranked every now and then. I usually just like hit up the Melee online channel or like my regions like netplay channel.
Do you know anyone who might be playing right now that would be like a tough opponent, where this like sword swingy thing might be useful against?
Let me see.
Because I could spectate and do live coaching while you're playing against them. That's something that sometimes works.
Okay.
Like, does that sound good to you, or do you like? I want this to work for you.
I can come. Yeah, that would work for me. I can come like prepared with somebody next time. Let me see.
Yeah, take a look. If we can't find anyone in like 5 minutes, we'll just do some unranked. It's totally cool. We'll find someone. So why PPMD?
I think it's a mix of I started playing right around when he won Apex 2015. I thought the like Marth thread on Smashboards was sick. There was like I don't know, like a source of truth. I feel like the like consult as I was learning how to play the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And I played Marth, so
He is a smarty pants. That Kevin
yeah.
nanny. Yeah, he's like lovely. He was one of the people who helped me kind of like and like we kind of got good at the same time. Obviously, got much better than me in the long run, but like we kind of came up at the same time, and he was always very supportive and he was just good. He was just really kind. I don't know. There's just something about him.
Yeah.
I have evil in my heart, and I think that's why I never made it. But like Kevin's the works. Kevin's wonderful.
Let me hit you. I mean, I also feel like I have evil in my heart too, so I understand that.
I feel
Yeah.
like you don't really strike me as evil.
Nah, I mean when it comes to the game, maybe.
I don't know. You're not like abusing Marth's sword. Like I feel like that's gotta like entitle you to like a bit of a pass on evil.
I mean, uh, well, I also just realized grab is broken.
It's all right.
So that's a different type of evil. Let me see. I'll just boot up unranked for now.
Sounds good.
There is a very good. Oh wait, I just got a notification. Oh, that was you. Okay.
Yeah. So that's my spectator code. So have you done the spectator thing before?
No, but I think I drop it and start broadcast here.
Yep. Once the game's running.
Confirm. Okay, cool.
I should just be able to.
There's a really good Sheik main that hit the Netplay channel like an hour ago that would have been perfect for this, but
do you find
it's also a matchup I struggle on.
You answered the next question I was going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you what is it about Sheik that you find tough?
Wait, give me 1 second. I just gotta lower the game volume. I think it's a mix of
and let me know when you're in a match, because
I'm collecting my thoughts.
Sure.
So like I feel like if every matchup were oh, Fox player just hit me up. Okay, perfect. Let me. This isn't a great matchup for this, but still.
I think this is a good matchup for this. I think the sword's really good versus Fox.
Okay. I feel like I just love like conditioning people to swing and then whiff punish, and I feel like whiff punishing Sheik is difficult, and I just find that like, well, actually, I would say just like any matchup I would like classify as like a very traditionally like dash dance heavy matchup I enjoy, or like feel like I understand. Like I love playing Fox, I love fighting Peach, but like Sheik, I find it much more difficult to do that. And then she just hits like a truck versus Marth.
Gotcha.
And it's hard to hit back. But like Falco's like another matchup.
Has the game loaded?
Yeah, I'm connecting right now.
Okay, cool. Because I don't see anything on my screen yet,
Okay,
so we might have to share through Discord. Oh, never mind. I can see it. We good.
Okay, cool. All right.
Nice. Really, you went for the up air there? Like the third up air, the one that was going to put him on top plat. I try to avoid top plat usually.
Yeah, I mean,
I was thinking you could you could have fared to push him somewhere. I just don't know where you push him. That's probably something you'd have to figure out. After the second one, I think the first 2 up airs were great.
Mm-hmm.
Try running down tilt on him when he's, like, keeping more away from you. Okay, so he's, like, fighting. There you go. Nice. So I want to point out the grab missed, but the other sword moves did not.
Mm-hmm.
Nice F smash. Let's go. Why do you do the shield stops during tech chasing? I would think that, like, dash dancing, like, using your dash just keeps you more actionable.
I'm bad at tech chasing.
Okay. So that's tech chasing. We're gonna try. That's gonna be the first thing we're gonna try to, like, adjust. So instead of going into shield, we're gonna either jump to where they land and cover it with aerial, or we're gonna use our dash dance. Like, we're gonna use our dash movements so that we can grab or forward smash or whatever. But, like, we're not going to enter shield during tech chase if we can help it. Because it keeps us more actionable, it keeps us, like, looser, we have more options, we're good. If you must, you can wave dash, but try not to. Like, wave dash sparingly.
Mm-hmm.
So a trick for doing the nairs in place out of dash forward, just like you can do them kind of like how Sheik does, where you, like, dash forward, jump back, and then, like, nair. I don't think any of your nairs have actually been punished so far. I'm just pointing that out. Down tilt at low percent has been. So I think that we can kind of, like, rule out down tilt at, like, super low. But nair so far has been pretty good. What do you think?
I agree.
Nice. Okay, so that one got punished because he went around it with a full hop. Oh, I thought Tipper.
Yeah.
The down air was fine. I just like Tipper more. It's like it's an aesthetic. Your play was fine, but I think let's try to get these auto cancel. Like, do you know how to auto cancel your nair?
Yeah. Oh, I'm running into there.
You have to do the first hit while rising, and then you fast fall during the second. So when he goes up to that top platform, what do you do?
I mean, if it were like tournament, I feel like I kind of wait, try to make him come down, bait him by like running up to a platform, getting off quickly.
Can't you just like full hop? Can't you like full hop and then do like fair timing mix-ups or up air timing mix-ups? I feel like that would probably work pretty well.
Okay, I'll try that.
Because like again, he's going up, right? Like,
yeah,
that's where your sword is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's not playing up there anymore. He'll probably go up there though, because it's like respawn, but maybe he won't.
Sweet spot.
So what we're learning is Nair is good versus ground stuff, but not good versus full hop. Because that one also would, he was just invincible, but it would have cut through his Nair there, because it made contact with him before you got hit. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
So, how are you finding this mode of learning? Do you think it's working for you? Do you think it sucks? Like, talk to me.
No, I think this is good.
Okay.
Actually, there's a Sheik player who just hit the channel, so I might, after this game, explain to this guy. Unless you think this is a...
This is your time. Whatever you think is whatever you want to work on is like what I want to work on. So if you think that like if you want to play with the Fox player because it's like lower stress, that's fine. If you want to play with the Sheik to push where you're like to try to push harder, that is also fine. It's like the only way this doesn't work is if you don't like what we're doing and don't think it's valuable. So it's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think once you start auto-canceling the Nairs like more consistently, I think you're going to find it's like even better than what you're doing. Because right now you're having to L-cancel it, but like it's even more efficient. Like if you can do like, them while fast falling and still get the auto-cancel. Because at that point it's just like, it's almost like a Peach float cancel in terms of like its like efficiency. Not quite, but like it's in the same like, it's like up there with like Sheik auto-cancel fair and like Jigglypuff auto-cancel back air and Peach stuff. Because it's just a chunky hit that there's only 4 frames of cooldown upon landing, and it just does so much, like, you know, and like he has to full hops because of like, you know, because of you doing that. So then your fair caught him. So it makes your other sword. It's really the foundation of his neutral of like his sword swinging. Really, like I think we used to think it was like down tilt and like fair, but it's really like the Nair is really what makes all that possible. Because you can see it, right? Like, and you have it's so efficient.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need to do it, you know, because like.
Well, I was talking to because there's a Luigi player in my region that like I just get like absolutely shit on every time we play, and Logan played them and 4-stocked them 3 times in a row. So
just like nairing them, probably.
Yeah, and I was like, "What are you doing? Like, how'd you do that?" And they were like, "Oh, I just nair." And I'm like, "That's it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?"
Unironically, yes.
And I was like, "All right." So then I started kind of just spamming it in some matchups, and I feel like it's crazy how many times people just kind of like jump into it.
It's because they can't do... So, okay, so if Luigi can't hit you with his immediate out-of-shield options, like his shield grab, his down B, his up B, his aerials, what is he... He has to wave dash, right? Like, that would be his next option? Well, wave dash takes 13 plus whatever... Like, sorry, 14 plus whatever his move is, right? So we're talking, like, 19 frames, like, ish, for him to even, like, before he can hit you. That means that all your Nair has to be, for you to be able to get out another Nair, is like, I think Nair hits on 6, so your Nair has to be better than like -13.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, you can do that in your sleep. Like, that's child's play. Anyone can do that. And then it just does, it means that like he can't wave dash into you out of shield after you do your move. Like, that's crazy. That's so good. Like, what does Luigi do? Not much. He's Luigi. But, yeah, you can apply that to most characters.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like how Hungrybox does his back airs. It's how Armada did his like float cancel aerials. Like, it's how all the good Peaches nowadays do with their FCs when they're like spacing for distance. It's like when they're pressuring lightly. It's just, yeah, it's just good.
Yeah.
So you're talking with the Sheik player?
Yep. We
Nice.
just set it up. Actually, a lot of love right now on the Melee Online channel.
Nice.
You'll have to see.
What level are you in there?
I'm in advanced.
Okay.
So
For some reason, I'm in like Grandmaster, and I'm like, I should not be here, but it's fine. Like,
it was getting into advanced alone was a
ordeal.
huge quest. Yeah, I mean it's kind of a joke in our region, just the people who kind of like got into advanced and those who like aren't, and people we know who are like an expert, and like it's funny just like how it doesn't match like the public perception of skill like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, perfect. I can see. So
Awesome.
So the way I would describe Nair in like in more jump oriented matchups like this, like in character against characters who play like the forward air and back air diagonal, Nair is meant to Nair is meant to call them out for doing that at low percents and mid percents and convert to pain. Because, like, if you hit Nair on Sheik's, like, short hop fair at low percent, you do, like, a quintillion damage to her.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's, like, one of your only... It's same thing with Peach, because it's, like, some of your only, like, really... It's your only chunky low percent aerial, you know? It's the only one that has, like, any heft to it. And that's really important against Sheik, because she uses her weight and her, like... she uses her weight and her superior efficiency a lot. So, yeah, you need power to, like, deal with that in the early game.
Mm-hmm.
Just back air her one of these days. Like, when she's just, like, when she's hovering, wafting in, please just jump out and back air her.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, again, we're using our aerials. We're using our sword, we're using our sword more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, on edge guard, obviously. Like, when she's, like, off stage, around, above, like, yeah, just at any percent, really. Like, fair her, like, back air her. So, remind me, you're bad at this one?
Well, they told me that it's a newer Sheik, so
okay.
And I can kind of feel that a little newer.
Yeah. Still, this will be good. We can practice concepts. So when we use Nair when we think that they're when we can tell that they're gonna jump, or if we have a good anticipation of them jumping into and we try to like just kind of cleave into her short hop aerial zone.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want us to do more of is, that fair, if she, like, pulls back or tries to get closer to deal with our Nair. Because the way that she'd beat our Nair there is she would get closer and then come in, like, at a more, like, to hit our head, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But if she does that, then she's leaving herself open for other stuff, like that dash dance grab, like up tilt, like forward air, you know? So... What we do is we keep... This helps steer our interactions. Real talk, it's also just fine to F-smash her if she's above us. Like, if during juggles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's another spot where we can use our sword. F-smash is, like, pretty important to Marth in general.
Up to do it.
It's all good. It's a friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's another move? How do you find her crouch cancel? Do you find it's easy to deal with?
Well, I'm kind of like still getting into like down tilt wars. I feel like in like not well stuff I just
I would have
like,
F
feel
smashed
like,
because when you pushed her onto the platform, you could have F smashed, like on both sides of the stage. Because you pressured her there and forced her to like land on it as part of your combo, and then you went for like fair or up air. But like you can also just let it rip. Sorry, you're saying so down tilt wars.
Yeah, that's like in like the I feel like
could have done it there.
Just F smash.
Yeah, like why not? So what do you think's gonna happen?
I don't know. I'm not really a F smasher. Yeah.
Why not?
Probably because I'm bad at it.
Well, do you think it's a part of Marth's kit that you can like just ignore forever?
No. Well, I also feel like I guess like kind of what I would call like loose like ways of using it in that sense where like it doesn't necessarily like combo, like they just kind of like fall into it. It's just like harder for me to understand as opposed to like when you do the pivots or like up throw F smash like
okay,
but you have spaces.
But these are concrete positional traps.
So I feel like that just might be something I don't have a strong understanding of. So
if you're gonna put her on, so this is gonna be your challenge for this against this person. Whereas Nair was like, Nair was like the kind of the focus versus the Fox, and then we added some other stuff. One of the ones here is we're gonna forward smash her when she goes on the platform as part of our combo, or if she's like falling into the air, from the air without her jump as part of our combo, or to the edge like there. So we're gonna use those three spots. That is where we're gonna try forward smashing sometimes. And if you don't think it'll work, it's okay. Because, like, I still want you to apply pressure and play normally. So if you don't, like, think of it, it's okay. But we're going to just try to do it.
Right there.
You up smashed. So are you C-sticking?
I probably, I inputted with C-stick, definitely.
Okay.
It was not my intention to do so.
Okay.
But I think, back to Sheik CC, yeah, it's definitely difficult to deal with in this matchup.
So, okay. You know what's really good at dealing with Sheik CC?
Grab.
Your aerials.
True.
Because you have your down air. You can just stomp her.
True.
Then grab her.
That is... there's a...
Did that feel good?
Yeah. No, there's a Marth player in my region who's so nasty with the down airs. Like, particularly, like, confirming that like, they ran in and then, like, down airing. Like, it's super good versus Sheik and, like, Marth and...
Peach, Samus.
Yeah.
Every character who has a decent down smash or down B and holds down. Yeah, like, all of... Yeah. Like, half the mid-tiers, most of the top tiers except Falcon. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, having an overhead in this game's good. Who knew? Like... Cool, so we learned something. When she's sufficiently high up, she can air dodge as a defense mechanism. And for that one, we acted too late on the back air, so we have to go sooner next time. So we are learning.
Hell yeah.
Cool, so that one we have to tech chase.
Oh.
But I know that because we're learning all this stuff, you will apply it.
100%.
Love that. Would you have done that previously? Like all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, I think so. Like, I guess I just kind of need to wrap that like up tilt understanding into F smash, because for some reason it's easy for me to like conceptualize like Sheik's falling into like an up air or up tilt, since I feel like every Sheik player ever like tries to land with moves like on top of me, and I don't know. I feel like that's I don't know, they don't have like a ton of options, but I always felt like that was like horrible, and I don't know why people do it so much.
Okay, so you can still use that spacing like for your forward smash. You just move a little to the side first.
Yeah. So I'll just try to make that brain connection. Oh, so right there, I should have just said smash.
Well, you could have. I mean, you could have also, like, fared forward. Like, you have options. But the idea is to get you thinking about how we finish the combo. Because, like, what I noticed with you is that you like to go forever. And then we get them to 170, and then it's really hard to finish. So, like, we are playing into the Marthritis, and right now I'm trying to get you to not... I'm trying to get you to show you that you have alternatives.
Yeah.
Is it working? Good.
Definitely. Right.
Oh, you did the thing.
Yeah.
Nice. Compared to how you usually play versus Sheik, I know that this player is probably not as strong as you with Sheik as you are with Marth, but that aside, how does it feel? Like, do you hate it?
You mean like, compared to how it normally is?
Yeah, like
no, I think I'm playing way more aggressive than I usually do. I feel like I have no fear against this person, if I'm being like, completely honest. Like, I honestly feel like I can do pretty much whatever, and I just will not get punished for doing it. Like,
sure.
Whereas like a lot of other Sheiks I play against, I just feel like I can't, like, the second I like walk forward, I just get hit by something.
Okay. So how are we? So we need to make this, I think, more like better practice for us, like structurally, because. So let me think about this. How could we do that? If you have any ideas, feel free to throw them out. But yeah. Let's focus on neutral. Like, let's try to win the interactions in a little bit more cleanly. So, what's a habit you figured out? What's a habit or thing that this Sheik is doing that's like fairly common for Sheik players to do? Like something annoying a Sheik like that Sheiks generally do.
Just kind of jumping with aerials, just like walling. I mean, they're not really. They were doing it like in.
Cool.
Previous things, but yeah.
Cool. So the challenge I have for you is, let's use our let's use our Nair at 0 to 20 to cut into their like wall to like intercept their wall out attempt, if we can, and then anything above that, let's try to like get the fair or tipper forward smash call out on those. Yeah, and let's just like we'll make those like a priority. Okay. So they're just flying off. They're just flying off and dying.
Yeah.
What character did they main? Is it Sheik or?
No, I think they're a Puff player.
Oh, can we play their Puff?
Let me ask them after this.
Yeah. Like, do you like the Puff matchup?
Yeah. I would, there's a Puff player who goes to the local I do. Well, he's a Fox player who started playing Puff, and his Puff's actually getting quite good. But we were playing friendlies, and in the middle of it, he was kind of just like, how do you know how to fight Puff? And I was like, I don't really know. But like, that's always a matchup I felt like pretty strong in relative to like the amount of practice I've put in it.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh no.
All right, let's just focus on playing naturally and playing normally, like with the new concepts, and just do what feels right. I love that you have Smash there. Yeah, we'll see if we can play this guy's Puff for a bit after.
Okay.
Ledge recoveries. So what do you do for ledge recoveries versus Sheik?
When I'm like trying to get off ledge.
Yeah.
You mean?
When you're coming back from ledge versus Sheik, what do you do?
Honestly, I feel like that's a super hard like getting back off ledge. I always find like super difficult versus Sheik.
Okay.
I've been trying to I forget which Marth player made a video about like fair from edge being like Marth's best ledge option, but I've been trying to do that more often. But
okay, let's keep fighting as Sheik then, because this is productive.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use fair from ledge. We're gonna use it sometimes to re-grab the edge, especially when we first get put on the ledge, because we're gonna use our like edge invincibility, because we don't need much. We don't need a good timing on the ledge hop like fair to have it be intangible, and all we're doing is we're just buying some time. And then on the next play, we're going to look at the Sheik's distance, and we're going to decide if we think that short, like, ledge hop fair onto the stage, mostly in place, is the right play, whether we want to go forward with it, or if we want to no impact land forward smash. Because she might go on, like, she might jump around outside of the fair, right? And if she does that, then we can nil forward, like, we can land on stage F smash, like, nil F smash.
Okay, so we're mixing up fair and nil F smash.
Yeah, 2 types of fair, like in place and forward, and then nil F smash.
And by in place, you mean like the re-grab edge after doing it?
No. So that's a separate one. If you want to include that one in like multiple reps, totally fine. But I'm thinking like more. We just land at the very edge of the stage. Yeah, like those are the that's the option pool that we're gonna play around with.
Okay.
Oh, you went for a tipper.
Yeah.
Like pivot.
Yeah, I that one I also. Okay.
Nice. You got it.
Yep.
I can see how like awkward it is though. Like it's like not it doesn't like come naturally, but you do see the power of it. Perfect. So I still can't believe Logan just told you to like pivot. No, just told you to like pivot Nair, like Nair in place. It's like there's so many ways to Nair.
Well, that specifically shield. I guess it's in place, but like kind of run up shield stop.
Oh, okay. I like I like the jump back version more personally, but I can see the benefit of shield stop.
Well, I think that that's like their way of like making it approach in a way that like is still safe. So I was kind of just experimenting with it, and I find that like if you do like a wave dash, like dash shield stop, like wave dash immediately dash and shield stop, like it seems like it could be pretty powerful. I just messed it up there, but like you can like kind of teleport in front of them a little bit and then
Okay.
But I haven't really like got it underneath my fingers, let alone like start to try and incorporate it. So I could be wrong about its usefulness, but
okay.
But the Logan was also, I think, like it just being in place and you can just immediately dash out, and then like also working in just like tomahawk grab, it just makes it super good.
You like wave dashing with Marth, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the one movement technique I kind of like don't like on him, generally speaking. I do get its utility for some things, but I feel like a lot of what you do with wave dash can be accomplished with run as well, and then you have like you keep the flexibility of being able to like act like more flexibly out of it, you know, like on your way there.
Yeah.
Which is one of the big reasons I like it. But I do see like where the speed is important sometimes, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had coaching like this before? Or is it always like just VOD review?
No, this is the first time I've done. I mean, like, I've had like people better than me, like, kind of like watch stuff and like comment after. But yeah, this is the first time I've done something like this.
How does it compare?
I find this to be a little more helpful. Just in the sense that like I can immediately like act on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of when like you're playing somebody and like you're kind of like, all right, like review the information after the match and then kind of like try to like incorporate it in. I feel like just makes it a little more difficult to
Yeah, because you're hitting these now. Like, you're going
Yeah.
for them, and you can see the difference. You can feel the difference. You're also, you're still carrying over using your sword more from the Fox games. Like, you are using your Nair to cut in, like you got that trade there. And I think it's because part of what makes it easier is you can see the benefit in real time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, actually, something that I think that could... What I sometimes do with people is we'll look at VODs of a particular matchup, and we'll do a review on that, come up with takeaways, and then we'll try to play against that character.
Yeah.
Like, we'll have somebody set up in advance to play against. That is something that I've done with Aiden a few times. It's something I've done with, like, actually a bunch of people a few times. And they find it quite helpful, because we get to, like, kind of diagnose, like, okay, this is what happened in this set. This is, like, we've got an opponent who plays this character, so we're going to be able to, like, review, and then, like, implement. And they find it really rewarding, and it's, like, a good way to make it targeted. What do you think about a structure like that for next time?
That sounds great.
Okay, perfect. So you will probably want to book again then.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I like to hear.
Let's see. Let me look at the chat. They may be just taking a little break.
Okay. In the last, I think 5 minutes, we'll hit pause and maybe like just talk it for a bit.
Okay.
So we can like kind of recap, decide what we want to do next, and like think about how we want to structure this going forward. But then, yeah. I think the most impressive thing for me is that when I just told you, like, yeah, now down air breaks Sheik's, like, crouch, you just, like, did it right away.
Sometimes I need to be just, like, reminded of, like, stuff. Because that is something I've, a Marth player that, like, I frequently, like, take advice from or ask for advice. They're so good at that. And that's, like, one of the first things they do that I kind of just, like, stole from them.
That's awesome. Is your community like tight knit? Like, I know that's like I know that with like Slippy and things like, and like just there's a newer generation of players. So like I know that things are a little different, but like would you say that like how long have you been playing? And what's your community like?
It's changed a lot over the years. With the pandemic, it definitely kind of like slowed down a ton. And there's definitely like kind of like a new group of people that have like kind of taken over since the pandemic happened. But my community, my region is Philly, and yeah, I would say we're pretty tight knit. There's like a bit of like of a divide because there's kind of like the people who live like actually in the city, and then there's a huge local that is like right outside the city. So like you either kind of go to the tournaments in the city or the that one local in the suburbs. So besides that, I would say it's like a pretty tight knit community. Like everyone kind of knows everyone, and you like most people who like go to locals like go to them pretty regularly. So I see them like every once in a while, or not like every week, you know.
Yeah, no, that's sick. Also, after that dare, that forward smash would have worked had you continued to drifting towards the Sheik.
Yeah.
You pulled back to, I guess, to like kind of protect yourself from counter hit in case you like didn't hit her. But yeah, like if you just kept moving full speed towards her, you get that hit for sure. Why the up air there? I was thinking
That should be an F smash.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Or no, it should have been an F smash. I kind of just like my brain took over, and I kind of just, how can I hit them?
Gotcha. But we know that probably could have been a fair or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Marth's up air is like one of the most overrated combo moves, but it is also like it's also one of the best like sharking moves of all time.
Yeah.
It's like only an A tier combo move, not like an S tier combo move, but like it's also like an S tier like zoning move and footsie move, so it's kind of like eh. See that Nair grab? Like, had we not been nairing, we wouldn't have gotten that grab. Well, maybe we might have, but it would have involved more steps.
Yeah.
Oh, shield poke.
Okay, I should have fared there. Probably.
No. What you did was perfect. What you did was fine.
Okay.
Because you like the shield poke was so good, and like it's like you're in an awkward position. Sometimes you have to prioritize what's easy.
That's a crazy grab right then.
Going behind Sheik, by the way, very, very good. So, like, I noticed that you're doing cross-ups, but, like, if you cross her up and you confirm she did something really stupid, it's okay to just run cancel F smash the other way. Like, if she, like, short up fairs, like, because she thinks that she's wrong, and, like, you manage to get under the beginning of it, yeah, just, like, dunk her. Yeah, that's the spot where we probably just shield grab her. What do you think of shield grab in this matchup?
I don't really try to do it, so I've got no strong feelings on it.
Well, I'm gonna just tell you right now that if you run in with shield against, like, if you dash or run with into her to like make her forward tilt or down tilt or any of her like ground moves really misspaced, you can very often shield grab her.
Okay. And why would I do that versus like CC?
Because you don't take damage.
True.
Like. Like, why do we do anything instead of CC? Because we don't take damage. Sometimes.
I mean, I guess like the positives of CC are kind of like, I guess like your better mobility technically.
Yeah, but like sometimes we're not at the percent where we can CC anymore.
That's true.
Like we get knocked over if we do it. It's also difficult. It's also difficult to CC in general sometimes. Like, because we have to get into true crouch, and like, yeah, we can just get yeah. So I think that let's hit pause because we gotta talk.
Okay.
Because I think we moved to 5:15, right? Yeah. So in our last 5 minutes, let's talk shop real quick about how this went, any changes you'd like to see made. Yeah, and just I want to know what worked and didn't work, basically.
Yeah, I'm just letting them say Jesus. I gotta get their name right.
Totally fine.
Cool.
You're so polite. Sure, you're not Canadian.
Actually, I am.
You are? Yo, that's sick. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, so my family's from Montreal, so I moved.
Nice. Okay.
Moved down here when I was little, but yeah, I've got my Canadian connection.
That's hilarious. That's amazing.
Though I know the French Canadians are not particularly known for their politeness.
Nah.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm good to go.
All right, excellent. So, I think that from my perspective, I think this went well. I got to see you I think you're way more, especially against the Fox, because I think the Fox was a bit tougher. I think that you even without hitting the auto cancel, even just having that hitbox out that does something like that Nair hitbox, that strong Nair like second to hit, that does something useful. It covers a big space. It kind of gets him off of his like just run around on the ground kind of thing, and forces him to like do jumps. It forces him to shield. It forces him to do things about it. And I think you could see some real benefits with that, because it kind of started guiding where you put your fares and stuff too.
Yeah.
Is perfect. So we're on the same page there. Is that something you want to explore further?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. So you have some homework then, because there is. I wouldn't worry too much about the stopping part, about making sure that's perfect, but I would worry about the auto cancel, because having a clean auto cancel is really what takes that move to the next level. If you want to work on both, like the shield stop part and the auto cancel at the same time, that's totally fine too. But that I would make a priority. Okay. In addition to that, playing around with your other finishers. Like I don't see really down smash. I don't see really forward smash until today. I'm not saying you have to use all of his finishers. Like if down smash just does not float your boat, I kind of consider that one a little more optional. But I certainly think that forward smash, for what it does, forward smash and like kind of like like the soft fair forward call out, where you can like, with a DI in, you can like set up like spikes and forward smashes, like using your fair more effectively at the end of combos to like push people instead of just grinding damage, and finding where you do that, where you set up those pushes. I think that should also be a priority. So forward smash, because that forces people to DI in. If they don't, they die. And then I would also include like how to like, as part of that, thinking about push style combos where you like Nair forward to like, which punishes DI in at like middle percents, and fair forward, which is like middle to high percents. So I would consider, like, I would think about how those fit into Marth's game, so you can have a little bit more purpose in how you push people off the stage and kill them.
Okay.
And then the other one is just back airing people when they're off stage. A lot of time, like back airing or fairing people when they're off stage, or just hitting them when they're off stage in general. I find that like you kind of like create a very tightly controlled ledge, and you do that really well. But there's more to edge guarding than just the ledge. There's also the entire space off stage, and I feel like we have an opportunity there to cover those zones more effectively. So those would be the areas of focus that I would suggest, and you can they apply probably broadly across your different matchups. This will give you a more well-rounded skill set against anyone you fight, I think. But what I want, so with that, how long do you think you'll need before you want to meet again?
I mean, with just these three things,
a month?
Look at my calendar. I mean, I would say like 2 weeks at the most.
I think 2 weeks makes sense.
Yeah.
I find bi-weekly as a structure that works for a lot of players. Does Friday around this time generally work for you?
Yeah. Okay,
perfect. So what I'll do is, why don't I book you? I'll set you up so that you're just every 2 weeks at this time. So 5:15 to 6:15. And if we need to change it, let me know. What I also generally offer people is I'm open to doing a follow-up with you 1 week from now. Around the same time. It's just like about 10 minutes, but we have a quick chat so we can kind of like touch base and make sure that everything is going the way we want it to. And if you have any questions at that time about the things that we're learning, we can address them then. So that way, in case you're finding something to be like, if there's something you're struggling with and you need a little bit of extra help, or if there's something that isn't clicking and I find out we're kind of not applying it, we're like applying something else, or it's just not, there's a misunderstanding, we can kind of like nip it so that it doesn't cost us 2 weeks of effort. Does that make sense to you? Fantastic. So with that, Wrinkle, it has been a pleasure. Do you have any feedback for me before we call it, or do you think we're in a good place?
No, this is we're in a really good place. That's it.
Fantastic. So I'll see you around this time. like between like 5 and between probably 5 and 7, because I might have other people that day. But I will follow up with you during that time. We'll have our quick chat to make sure that everything's going the way we want it to, and then I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Cool. Sounds great.
Perfect. And like with all learners, if you have any follow-up questions off the clock about the concepts we discussed today, send them my way. I will do my best to answer them when I have time. And if I don't,
Awesome.
if I don't get to it, then it'll be part of the touch base next week.
Cool.
All right. Have a good one. This was great.
Yep.
And I'll see you next week, if not sooner.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.